Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Noshakira. In this video, I'm going to present about my industrial training final report entitled The Social Impacts of Movement Control Order Towards Intura's Work Process and Services. So there are 6 points that I intended to show you guys in this presentation video. As you can see on the screen, there are 6 of them. First of all, there are 4 keywords related to this study that are, the first one is movement control order, intan, and also the crisis management and crisis response. Intan Northern Regional Campus, as the main reference in this research, is in charge for developing human capital of civil service under the National Institute of Public Administration. This branch campus, which is located in Sungai Petani Kedah, has established many effective training programs. However, they cannot escape from being affected during the COVID-19 pandemic. Thus, this study wants to find out how movement control order becomes the main challenge they had to face. As I mentioned before, Intura organizes countless programs and events involving the human capital development. Their work process and services sadly are facing obstacles as the implementation of MCO happens. Socially, Intura is affected badly when mass gatherings and movements are forbidden by the government. Nevertheless, the crisis management, which includes a crisis response, can guide them in overcoming the problems resulted from MCO execution. The crisis management is the analytical framework chosen for this research. According to Godic 2020, crisis management is employed to foster resilience and will be the one utmost importance during the COVID-19 crisis. Therefore, Intura needs the crisis management plan to smoothen the work process and services in the midst of a crisis. This is to ensure any damage can be minimized. There are 3 stages in this management plan. As you can see, they are divided to before crisis, during and after crisis. The first stage is where the warning and risk assessment have to be done for early preparation before a crisis. The second stage is the most significant one and is highlighted in this study as it occurs during a crisis. Besides, public statements usually happen to alert people during this stage. Lastly, post-crisis and resolution take place after a crisis subsides. However, the organization should revise their own crisis management plan in order to see how much it works. For this study, there are 2 research objectives. The first one is to identify Intura general operation before the implementation of MCO. And the second one is to explore the impact that MCO had caused towards Intura's work process and their services socially. The research questions are correlated to the research objectives. So for the methodology, I use qualitative approach for the research design, while semi-structured interviews as the instruments. There are 7 questions available in these interview forms online. The sample was selected from the workers who are currently working at Intura from different departments, and they have more than 10 years of working experience there. Furthermore, I use the non-probability convenience sampling, and there are 3 interviewees so that the data collected were adequate enough to have meaningful results from this study. In the data analysis section for question 1, how does Intura run its general operation before the implementation of MCO? According to the official website, Intan is responsible for formal trainings for government workers in order to improve the human capital of civil service. Other than that, Intura is crowned as the Excellence Center for Team enhancement. So there are two main courses that Intura specialize in, that are team strengthening course and also team leadership course. Other than common courses like effective communication and presentation course and innovative and creative group workshops. Meanwhile, according to the interviews, all the participants gave similar answers that are training courses and seminars. Usually, all of these training programs circulates numerous areas of expertise. For the data analysis of the second question, what social impact that MCO has brought towards the work process and services of Intura? All participants agreed that Intura is affected badly during the MCO implementation. This is because their events are cancelled or postponed as Malaysian government forbids mass gatherings across the country. The other impacts that they had to face are unachievable annual work targets, aside from sanitization, as hygiene become the main priority to stop a pandemic. Furthermore, standard operation procedures (SOP), sanitization and prohibition of mass gatherings are among the crisis responses done in order to reduce the damage involving health and safety of workers. In the matter of work process, work from home state is practiced to ensure no direct contacts between the employees. If there are any crucial matter at the workplace, they can come to work in turns with the permission from Intan Director. On top of that, Intan Dormitory is open for the frontliners to reside during MCO implementation. Thus, some of Intura workers are required to manage their access. In order to ease their work process, they also communicate online through email and WhatsApp regarding their job scope daily. Crisis responses stated here are the online interaction apart from work from home order. Following, they also need to reschedule their pending activities for the rest of this year. All of the responses surely can reduce the damage resulted from the COVID-19 crisis. I want to recommend 3 steps based on the crisis management. First and foremost, an organization needs a crisis management team. They should be accountable for the planning of crisis management plans suitable with the Intura operations. Different departments should participate in the choosing of the members in crisis management team. Apart from that, the crisis manager and his team also have to update the important procedures from time to time in order for all of Intura workers to take note. Next, online courses can be a norm for Intura as this method can be accessed everywhere and also anywhere. The courses could be recorded in advance or it can be aired live along with the participants with just a click. Last but not least, accessible information is one important step to refer about the emergency plan. This is to ensure quick response from all of the workers. So, flip charts and infographics are among the good examples to use. In conclusion, Intura's work process and services are severely affected during MCO execution. The crisis management is a great lead to deal with a pandemic. Therefore, an organization should always be prepared for an emergency situation in future like tsunami or flood in order to minimize any damage resulted from a crisis. Additionally, this study can be further extended by referencing other organizations or other nations that have done the same crisis management like in China. And future researchers can go through the 3 stages of crisis management more deeply. Research instruments also can be altered to surveys, for example, to accumulate more authentic data. So that's all from me. Thank you.